Hello students, welcome to this next lecture of chapter 1, that is working and auxiliary motion in different machine tools. In our previous lecture we have discussed what is auxiliary motion and what is primary motion. So again, just in simple words, primary motion, that is the main motion required for cutting purpose, and the auxiliary motion which supports the cutting, which supports the movement of maybe a workpiece or maybe a tool, that is known as the auxiliary motion. So in this lecture we will discuss about different primary and auxiliary motions available in different machine tools. So starting with first important machine, that is the lathe machine. In the lathe machine you can see that the first component, the shown over here, it is the cylindrical component which is indicated as the workpiece. And in the case of workpiece, tool is fed maybe in perpendicular direction or maybe in the longitudinal direction. So the tool movement, that is maybe towards the center of the workpiece, or it may be along the length of the workpiece. So these are the two movements that are required for the tool. But now if we say which is the most important movement for cutting purpose, if we are just feeding tool over here, if we just feed tool but this workpiece is not rotating, then there are chances of cutting this workpiece? No, there are no chances. That means the rotary motion of this particular workpiece, that is the major important requirement for cutting purpose. So in the case of the lathe machine, the first and foremost primary motion required, that is the rotary motion of the workpiece. And the secondary motion, that is the movement of the tool. And the movement of the tool, that means the translatory motion of the tool may be in the axial direction, that is along the length, or maybe radial direction, that is towards the center of the workpiece, that is the second or feed motion or the auxiliary motion. So this feed motion is also known as auxiliary motion, and about this we have also discussed in our first lecture of this chapter 1. Now the second machine tool, that is the drilling machine. In the case of drilling machine, similarly you can see over here the first and foremost requirement, that is the rotary movement of the drill bit. So here you can see this is the drill and the bottom part shown over here, that is the workpiece. So our primary requirement, that is to hold this particular workpiece, at that time what needs to be done? This rotary drill bit moves towards the workpiece and it starts generating hole in this particular component. So here we can again say that if we just simply move this drill bit in downward direction without rotating it, then there are chances of removing material? No, there are no chances. That means to remove the material from the workpiece, the rotary motion of this drill bit, that is necessary. So that is the primary motion. So you can see over here the rotary motion of the drill bit, that is the primary motion. And now we want to drill that hole up to particular depth. So to obtain that particular depth, what needs to be done? This drill bit needs to be moved in the downward direction. So the movement that is in the downward direction, that is the translatory movement, that is nothing but the secondary or auxiliary motion. So you can see over here the translatory motion of the drill, that is the feed motion or it may be a auxiliary motion. So these are the two machines. First one is the lathe machine and another one is the drilling machine, in which the primary and auxiliary motion that we have discussed. So now the next one, that is the third one, it is the grinding machine. And you have seen in normal workshops the grinding machines available, and you also seen that in grinding machine the grinding wheel is rotating at higher RPM, and whatever the component we need to finish or we need to machine, that we are feeding towards the workpiece. So you can see over here the first thing, that is the part shown over here, that is the workpiece, and the wheel shown over here, that is the grinding wheel. So this grinding wheel rotates at its particular exact position, and when it is rotating on its surface, certain abrasive particles are available which helps for the finishing purpose. So if we say simply again, this grinding wheel just stationary about this particular point, and when we feed this workpiece towards the grinding wheel, and if it is not rotating, there are chances of finishing or machining this workpiece? No, there are no chances. Means for finishing purpose or for machining purpose, this grinding wheel needs to be rotated about its axis. So that is the primary motion. So here you can see that the rotary motion of the grinding wheel, that is the primary motion. And again, the workpiece, this can be moved in longitudinal direction or it can be moved towards the grinding wheel, also depends on requirement. That means the translatory movement of this particular workpiece, that is the auxiliary motion. But in many of the cases, there are also chances that this workpiece is also rotating. So based on requirement, if it is also rotating, at that time the rotary motion of the workpiece, that may be also auxiliary motion. Again, I am saying that the feed motion is also known as the auxiliary motion. So keep these two words in mind. If we are saying feed motion or if we are saying auxiliary motion, this is nothing but the secondary movement required for machining purpose. Now similarly, next one, that is the milling machine. In the case of milling machine, the milling cutter is rotating about its axis at certain position. So you can see over here, this is the milling cutter and this part is the workpiece. So now if we want to machine this workpiece, then what needs to be done? This milling cutter needs to be rotated maybe in a clockwise direction or maybe in the anti-clockwise direction. So that is nothing but the primary requirement for cutting purpose. So again, now you can understand easily the rotary motion of the cutter, that is the primary and foremost requirement for cutting purpose. And similarly, you can see that this workpiece needs to be moved maybe towards the milling cutter or maybe away from the milling cutter based on the requirement. So that is nothing but the translatory motion of the workpiece. So this is translatory motion of workpiece, that is nothing but the secondary or auxiliary motion requirement in this case of this milling machine. Now the next machine, that is the saper and slaughter machine. Now I have listed these two machines over here. The first one, that is the saper machine, and the second one, that is the slaughter machine. Now in both these machineries, as we have discussed in our introductory lecture, in saper machine the movement that is in the horizontal direction, and in the case of the slaughter machine, if we rotate it by 90 degree, that means the vertical movement that will give us the slaughter machine. So that means the primary and auxiliary motion both are similar in the case of the slaughter and saper machine, just the direction of movement is different. So here you can see this is the single point cutting tool and the bottom part, that is the workpiece. Now whenever the machining is required or the flat surface needs to be produced, maybe a slots needs to be produced, maybe a keyways are required, at that time these saper and slaughter machine are used. And in the case of saper and slaughter machine, the reciprocating movement of this tool, that is the primary and foremost requirement. So that means the primary motion, that is the reciprocating motion of the cutting tool, which is most importantly required. Now in the case of secondary movement, that is for the case of workpiece, so this workpiece is moved along the length or maybe in the width direction, depends on the shape of the component. This movement helps to entirely cover the surface of this workpiece. That means the translatory motion of the workpiece, that is the auxiliary or feed motion for this saper and slaughter machine. So this is the primary and auxiliary motion for the different types of machines available. Again, there are also different machineries are available, and for that different machineries available, we will discuss the different primary and auxiliary motion and how that motions are obtained in our particular chapters that we will discuss in our further lectures. So up to now we have discussed major machines or machine tools available in which is the primary motion required and which is the auxiliary motion required for the cutting purpose. Now let us discuss, up to now we have discussed the major important parts, that is, first one is how to obtain these particular machineries and what are the main important motions required, that may be auxiliary and that may be a primary machines. But with the help of these different machine tools, we are doing certain machining operations. So now, what is the meaning of machining? So to understand the machining, just let us have a look at the simple figure, that is, or simple definition shown over here. The first one, that is, this machining is nothing but the material removal process, which is written over here. It is nothing but the material removal process, and this material removal process is nothing but the removal of unwanted material from the workpiece to obtain the final product by using these machine tools. So again, just see this particular definition. The machining is first the main important part, that is material removal process, in which unwanted material is removed from the workpiece. So if we simply say, suppose if one block is available and on that block if we want to drill a hole up to certain depth. So now what is our requirement? Our requirement is to drill a hole up to certain depth. So now this is our final requirement. So at that time, which is the unwanted material? So if we see, this is the unwanted material which we need to remove. So the removal of this unwanted material from the workpiece, that is nothing but the machining process. So this is the basic definition of the machining. So now next let us understand the classification of machining processes. Now we have understand what is machining, but there are different classification of machining processes also available. Now the first one, that is the chip formation processes. Now as we have listed many machine tools, there are different types of cutting tools are available. So it may be a single point cutting tool or it may be a multi-point cutting tool. So during machining, if a single cutting tool or a single tip of the cutting tool removes the material, at that time it is called as the single point cutting tool. And in the case of lathe machine, we have seen the figure, the tool is indicated like this. So these single tips helps to remove the material from the workpiece. That's why it is called as the single point cutting tool. And the process obtained with the help of this single point cutting tool is called as the single point cutting processes. And in the case of milling cutter, we have seen that this milling cutter have multiple teeth over its periphery. This means these all the teeth helps to remove the material from the workpiece, and that's why these multiple teeth points helps to remove the material from the workpiece. That's why it is called as the multi-point cutting processes. So this is the first classification of the machining process, that is single point cutting process or it may be a multi-point cutting process. Now the second one, that is the abrasive machining processes. So during machining processes, if the abrasives are used to remove the material from the workpiece, then it is called as the abrasive machining processes. And as I have told you, in the case of grinding machines, different abrasive particles are available on the periphery of that grinding wheel, which helps to remove the material. Then it is called as the abrasive machining processes. So the example of it, that is the grinding machine or the grinding machining operation. And again, there are also another operation. It may be a honing process or it may be a lapping process. So in simple word, if we say, if we want to finish external surfaces by using that abrasive particles, then it is called as the lapping process. And if we want to particularly machine or finish the internal surface of the workpiece, at that time this honing process is used. So this is the second classification of these machining processes. Now the third one, that is the non-conventional machining processes. Now first of all, what is the difference between conventional and non-conventional machining processes? So in the case of conventional machining processes, the tool and the workpiece both are in contact and the material is removed. But if the tool and the workpiece are not in contact but by another means, if the material is removed by providing a certain mechanism, at that time these different machining processes are called as the non-conventional machining processes. So there are some of the example. It may be a EDIM process or it may be a USM process. There are certain other processes are available, that may be a AJM process, maybe a PAM process. So if we say EDM, that is the electro discharge machining process. The another USM, that is the ultrasonic machining process. AJM means abrasive jet machining process, and PAM, that is the plasma arc machining process. So in these different processes, the material is removed by different mechanisms. That means if we say in ultrasonic mechanism, the ultrasonic waves are used for particular maybe a joining operation or maybe a machining operation. So these are the different list of these non-conventional machining processes. So these are the different classification of machining processes that are available during subject point of view. Now let us discuss the factors affecting selection of machining processes. As we have discussed, there are different machining processes are available, and based on requirement different machining processes needs to be selected. Means if we want to remove the material from the workpiece in larger amount, at that time different processes needs to be selected, and if we want to finish just a simpler outer surface of the workpiece, at that time different machining processes needs to be selected. So based on there are different factors available on which we will select different machining processes. So the first one, that is the type of finished product required. That means if the final finishing required, that may be if the rough surface is required, or maybe if a fine polished surface is required. So based on this, different machining processes are selected. If we say maybe a lathe machine, milling machine, drilling machine, all these different types of machineries result into a rough surfaces which give just outer or required shape. But if we want to obtain a final finished polished product, at that time grinding operation is performed on that particular workpiece to obtain final finished product. So that is first, based on the type of finished product required, machining needs to be selected. Now the second one, that is the size of finished product. That means based on the different shape and size of the component, different types of the machineries needs to be selected. That means if the workpiece is smaller in size, or if maybe workpiece may be of larger shape and size, that means if it is of 1 or 2 foot, or it may be just simply of 10 to 15 centimeters, based on requirement different machineries or different shape and size needs to be selected. Now the third one, that is the purpose of finished product. That means the final finished product, where its application is, based on that the different machining operation is performed. So if the surface of the component that is required, it may be a just rough surface or it may be a mirror like surface. So based on the requirement, the machining process needs to be selected. Now the fourth one, that is the amount of metal to be removed. That means if from the surface of workpiece the material removed is in larger amount, or if the material removed is very small, so based on that a different machining process needs to be selected. That means if we want to remove larger amount of material from the workpiece, if at that time we use just grinding operation, so this grinding is just only a finishing process. So at that time if we want to finish a minor amount of the surface, so at that time grinding operation is used. Suppose if we say we want to machine this much of 2 centimeter of depth, and if we use the grinding machine, then what happens, this grinding wheel rotate about its periphery and it moves along the length. direction. And similarly, if we use same component and if we want to machine the same dimension on the workpiece, and at that time if we use horizontal milling cutter which has teeth available over its periphery. Now if we see the machining operation, then what happens? For the same output, this milling cutter will finish this particular component very fastly, whereas this grinding machine will result into more time. That means this grinding operation takes more time to reduce this 2 centimeter dimension. So based on the requirement, this machining process needs to be selected, which result into a better finishing process or the lower machining time for mass production system. Now the next one, that is the material of the finished product. So the final finished product, it may be a hard material or it may be a soft material. So based on the material available, different machining process needs to be selected, and also different machining tools needs to be selected. Similarly, there are different cutting tools are also available. So based on the material properties, different tools needs to be selected. There are different tools are available. It may be a high carbon steel, it may be a high speed steel, it may be a cemented carbide steel. So based on the material available, this different material of the tool needs to be selected. Now the next one, that is the quantity of the product required. That means if the product needs to be manufactured, that is in the large amount, or if the product needs to be manufactured or maybe one or two or in a smaller quantity, so based on the quantity available at that time, different machining process needs to be selected. And how that machine that you will select, that you will study in different chapters one by one in detail. And the last one, that is the degree of accuracy required. So based on the accuracy, that means if we select a lathe machine, if we select a drilling machine, if we select a milling machine, these different machineries have different accuracy, and in these different machineries also different types of machine tools are available based on the accuracy. So based on accuracy required, we will discuss different types of machine tools available and how that machine tools can be selected in our further topics. So in this lecture, we have discussed about the basic primary and auxiliary motions available in the different machine tools, what is machining, what is the classification of machining processes, and what are the factors available to select these different machining processes. So in our next lecture onwards, we will continue different topics over chapter 1, that is different classification or principles of the machine tools. So I hope you have the clarity about these different topics that we have discussed in our this particular topic. So looking forward to see you all in our next lecture. Up to then, thank you.